Hi guys, Lee Cole here. As you can see, I got my buddy Mike Martin on. Mike, tell everybody hello.
Hey guys, nice to see you all.
Really appreciate your extra time on this. You know, we're right in the middle of selling your 100K per month hybrid business model training and your Lead Simplify software. And, people are loving this thing, man. I mean, I'm getting tickets and emails and comments, on YouTube. People love this. It's a real business though. This isn't just, bullshit. Oh, gee, I said a bad word on YouTube. I'll have to mark that little box when I upload this. But hey, this is not for children anymore. But anyway, this isn't BS, 3 steps and money flies out of your laptop. This is about as simple as a real business is going to get, but it is a real business, right?
I mean, yeah, it's designed. We basically, I've generated a ton of cash in lead generation over the years. Started out as a locksmith, going and breaking into houses and cars for a living. Realized I could make a lot more money selling the leads, and then we just literally decided to automate the whole process. But the way that this works now, we've set up about 5 or 10 of these running, and they generate tons and tons of cash every single month. And what we're finding is the 3 main niches that it brings together is your rank and rent and your pay-per-lead. It brings them together as one, like a hybrid. And also, which we didn't know at first, but people who run ad agencies seem to be actually making more money than anybody else with this. And we didn't know this. We've just started to find out as the feedback's coming back from people. And it's like, using it from the ad agency, these are the sort of figures we're doing. And it's also really helping them.
Love it. Now, for somebody who may be just like, they literally just hatched out of the egg yesterday, they can kind of figure out what rank and rent and pay-per-lead might be, but could you define those 2 things for us, please?
Basically, somebody that does rank and rent is somebody who generally builds websites. So he'll go off and he'll build a bunch of websites and he'll rent them out to people on a monthly subscription basis, and he'll get paid a wage for it. And every single month you get paid, and the people get the leads off the website, and you get a steady income every single month. However, pay-per-lead is completely different. If you rank a website and it's generating, say, 50 leads a month, you could sell them leads on an individual lead basis. So you get $25, $30, $40 a lead, and you can sell them multiple times. So on a pay-per-lead basis, it's very easy to earn huge amounts of money very fast. The problem with the business model is it's very unstable. It's quite unpredictable. And what the hybrid model does is it puts the 2 together. So the stability of the rank and rent and the earning potential of the pay-per-lead model into one, so that you are literally making a ton of money, but you've got a very stable business.
And then the back end of this thing, I mean, it's not like you're just sitting here, futzing around with the whole thing yourself. I mean, you've got this amazing Lead Simplify software that essentially is running the back end of that whole thing that you just described there, right?
Yeah, basically what Lead Simplify does is it enables leads to come in from your business from absolutely anywhere. It will collect it, check where the lead's coming from, what industry the lead is, and then it will distribute it to the right lead buyers in the right location and sell the leads on complete autopilot for you. Alternatively, if you don't have a system already set up, then what it will do is it will let you, it will automatically prospect for you. So it will go out, and if you get a phone call for a underfloor heating company in Miami, it will go out and ring 20 underfloor heating companies simultaneously and distribute a free lead to somebody and turn them into a hot prospect for you without you doing anything. Once they are a lead buyer, then the whole thing's completely 100% automated.
Now, by automated, you actually do mean automated, because I remember when you first explained this to me, I was thinking, oh, so I need to tell the software who those 20, heating companies in Miami are. And you said, no, Lee, you don't. It figures that out on its own, right? So the lead comes in, the software just figures out who to send it to, it sends it to. And when it sends that lead to just some company that, is not currently paying you, I mean, what did they get? What did they hear on their end, when the phone rings?
So if the phone, you record the message for them, but basically the sort of message you record for them to hear is, hi, this is Mike Martin Leads Company. He's a free lead, completely free of charge. Just click 1 to accept it, and we'll contact you afterwards to let you know about what our company does and how it works. So what it does is it gives them a taster instantly without you doing anything. So because 20 people ring at the same time, a customer's always going to get dealt with and always going to get the phone answered. But not only are they going to get the phone answered, they're also in a situation, you're in a situation where only people that are interested in getting your leads are going to actually press one. People who are not interested in lead companies and don't want to think it, they'll ignore the phone call. Now, they'll still go into your system as a prospect, but they won't become a hot prospect in your system. So because they're not a hot prospect, you never really bother ringing them. You just deal with the guys that you know are interested. So it's a case of giving them a quick bell and saying, do you want to join us? If they say, yeah, you get the first name, the last name, and their email address, and it automatically sets them up with a 10-mile radius from where they're based to receive leads in the industry that they've already had leads for. And then they can manage it inside of their system and say, I want leads in this area, plus this different industries, and they can actually grow out their system, grow out their areas. We've got lead buyers who will have like multiple locations, 5 or 6 locations, and they only receive leads in the locations that they want, and all the other stuff just goes through and they don't get notified of it.
Love it. So the software not only takes care of finding, well, basically take care of your prospecting for you, which is just pure freaking genius, because otherwise you're going to have to spend an enormous amount of time prospecting and then, replacing people that drop out because businesses change, replacing people that drop out and all that stuff. So the software does that for you once you get it set up. You are, and I know this because you've told me this, and I also know this because, you and I have been selling access to your training and your software for several days now. And I got feedback from people on my list who are loving it, by the way. But you are really, really interested in helping other people get going with this system. I mean, you're putting a lot of time into supporting them. Am I correct?
Yeah, I'm pretty much living this at the minute. What we're doing is we're trying. So rather than going down the model that I've seen everybody else take, is let's make a ton of money off every customer that comes through the door so that we don't need a lot of customers. Now, we're not trying to do that. We're trying to let people in with the lowest possible barrier to entry. We give them full training course. We give them support. We have a proper support desk that will help them with that. But every single week, because unfortunately now we're getting to a certain size where I can't spend one-on-one time with customers direct. What I do is every single Thursday we do a live, and it goes live at, I think it's 5 p.m. UK time from memory, and we let that run for as long as it needs to run so that all of our customers can jump on that live and ask questions. My support staff inside of our Facebook group will also put up a form every week. So if people can't make it, they can actually submit the questions that they want to ask me direct. And then when they watch it back, they can receive a proper answer from me direct on a live call. So nothing's hidden, nothing's kept behind the door. We try to support people and help them as best as we possibly can. And yeah, I mean, it's like today, after this meeting with you today, I've got a training call with one of my team, and me and him are going to spend the next 2 hours teaching people how to get started, how to work on Mass Page, and then we're going to take them through 3 steps over each Friday this week. There's no sales involved. It's just to try and support these guys and help them get from 0 to the point where at least they can quit the full-time jobs. And then once they get to that point, usually they're in a situation there where they can learn very, very well how to scale. The thing with this is your first 4 or 5 grand a month is the hardest part. That's the hardest point. But once you hit that point, scaling from there to 50, 60, 70, 80 grand a month is very, very easy. So they have to work at the beginning. And if they follow the process, scaling is really easy after they've done it once.
So the first 4, let's go over those numbers again, because I think people are going to like hearing those numbers. The first 4 or 5,000 a month, that's really your learning curve on this. I mean, you're learning, you're figuring it out, you're stumbling around, and obviously you've got great support. You got the live, you've got the Facebook group, and you've got your just, support ticket desk. And I know you're extremely available. But that first, getting up to 4 or 5 grand a month, in other words, getting up to making enough money where your average person could quit their average job, right?
Exactly.
Yeah, obviously. I mean, it's a real business. It's going to take some work, although that work is very, very supported by you. But then scaling from there up to 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, And for
Then
those of you who can't do math, 80 times 12 is 960. So that's close to $1 million a year. but
yeah,
that's really just a matter of just replicating and building and scaling on something that you pretty well already mastered. Is that correct?
pretty much, yeah. Basically, there's two models they can go down. The first one that we teach them is to basically choose a niche, a specific niche, stick to it, and spread like a wave across the area they want to cover. They start with the rank and rent model, and they use our system, which enables them to, as they start to lose customers or as they start to get people that are willing to do on a pay-per-lead, it flicks the system over and enables it to become a hybrid, which means you can run rank and rent with pay-per-lead at the same time. Once you get onto that and you're getting a little bit more advanced, we then have what's called a stacking model. So if you imagine you're dealing with underfloor heating company in Miami, and you've got various 10 different underfloor heating companies in all the 100K populations around Miami, surrounding the area. Those people are also interested in boiler installations, as you would imagine, but you build on a specific niche. They're also probably interested in heating installations for a full home. So what you do is we work to a stackable model. So what you do is you choose your first model, which would be underfloor heating, and then you would work as on a rank and rate basis. Now, what you can do is you can then convert them to pay-per-lead, or you can stack on top of them with your new pay-per-lead sites. And once you start hitting pay-per-lead, you start generating a ton more cash. So you've got a guaranteed 4, 5, 6 grand a month minimum, plus all your pay-per-lead income, which generates 10, 20, 30, 40 grand very, very easily. It sounds complicated, but the stackable system works very, very well, and it's very, very easy. The hard part is building those relationships right at the beginning, which takes a little bit of time and a bit of staying power. But once they've done that and they're in, they'll never look back. And they don't.
This is awesome. And, just so the people watching this video, and by the way, guys, I forgot to mention that Mike and I did a really in-depth webinar a few days ago that's on my YouTube channel. Wherever you're looking at this, I'll make sure that you have a link to get back to that webinar so you can see that. And I just had a senior moment. I forgot what the hell my next question was, but don't worry. I got about 3 others right here.
I'll get a drink.
Yeah, you get a drink. Now, you offered people some bonuses for buying this through my link.
I certainly did.
You did. And how do they actually get to those bonuses? Because I've had a couple of people say, Lee, I got it. I'm really excited. Where are the bonuses?
Okay. All of their accounts that they set up, if they go to the help videos section inside of their account, there is a little tab at the top on the left that says access your bonuses or access your resources.
Yeah.
They get most of the resources are in there. In addition to that, they need to watch the webinar to the end to claim the free training course, which I gave to everybody on
There
live.
you go.
And so you can claim the free training course as well.
Go back to, and the webinar that Mike is talking about, folks, is the webinar which is currently up on YouTube. And again, you're looking at this on YouTube, just scroll down to the description box. That first link is going to take you back to that first webinar. So have no fear. Furthermore, if you can't find anything, just reach out to me. Everybody else apparently does. and I'll get your questions answered. I don't really think that, this is work, right? And it's a real business. And if you're going to make $500,000 to $1 million a year, you should have to do some work for that to happen. Otherwise, like my daddy used to say, Lee, if making money was easy, everybody would be making money, and then money wouldn't be worth anything, and we'd be back where we were. But, other than the fact that, you compare this to other things that you'd have to do in your life to make $500,000 to $1 million a year. Like go to medical school and go, work in an emergency room, 40 hours a week or something like that. That's probably $300,000 or $400,000 a year job in the United States. Well, and the fact that by the time you get out of medical school, you're going to have hundreds of thousands of dollars worth of debt. It's going to take years, blah, blah, blah. I'm just saying that it should be some work. But compared to other things, it is, other things that we realistically do in our world, we're not talking about that much work. So folks, get this, but hang in there through the learning curve. I think that's the real thing that we're trying to tell people. Hang in there through the learning curve, because Mike, I know that from what you've told me off camera, here on the webinar, once people get through that learning curve and they kind of, they got it, they've done it a few times, they're starting to make some money, it's really smooth sailing. It's really just a matter of applying your wave model, your
Yep.
stacking model, at the right time, and literally just growing the business. But the beauty of it is they don't have to figure out how to grow the business. You've already figured out how to grow the business, and you've got software that does the growing for you, right? So
Yeah, yeah.
just
We
hang
we
in there, guys.
we spent years, as most people who try and make money online, you spend years chasing the money.
Oh yeah.
And I think the biggest mistake is chasing the money. And what we realized when we started to grow this business 4 or 5 years ago and started pushing it to the general public is it's not actually chasing the money, it's chasing the assets that generates the money. And people always say, oh, take action, take action, take action. But they never explain to people that if you run around like a headless chicken to try and get 15 grand this week, next week you've got to start from zero and find another 15 grand. And we set it up so that you're actually building assets gradually over a period of time. So it doesn't happen as quick as a lot of these things where, oh, go and make 100 grand in your first 3 months. That's not going to happen. You might make 3, 4, 5, 6 grand a month in your first 3 months. But as it starts to grow, you grow assets, you accumulate wealth from it, and it's going to continue to work whether you work or you don't work. And that's the beauty of it. And that was one of the things that we figured out whilst we were growing this, is the action that we were previously taking was we're kind of like headless chickens. We were just running around chasing money like, oh my God, we need to get another 50 grand in this month because we've got this going out or that going out, or we need to figure this out. And when we realized, you know what, just step back, take it back to zero and grow the assets. And the action then becomes much more valuable because it's long term.
I love that. I love that. And that's fundamentally the difference between making money and building wealth right there. What you just said. And wealth is something that pays you, and you, your kids, your grandkids, over and over and over again for a very, very long time. Cool. Anything else you want to leave these guys with? We've gone over my short list of things to talk about. Oh, you and I, you were kind enough to make my guys a great offer on this, which is going to expire tonight. What do you say about leaving this open for a few more days? You want to say through Sunday or Monday? Is that a possibility?
Yeah, I'm happy to leave it open till Sunday.
Let's leave it open till Sunday.
And some more bonus training that I created yesterday for you, which when we get off here, I'll send it to you. So if your guys look out for an email, there'll be some bonus training that you can add inside of there for them, which is the 13th step to the training model, which I gave them on the presentation, which is going to really, really help them. And it'll teach them the stacking model, which I've just told you about.
Cool. So today is Friday. We're going to leave this open through Sunday, and we've got some bonus training. It just can't get any better. Thank you, buddy. I really appreciate it. And, folks, if y'all have any questions, just hit me up. I know where the guy lives now. So I'll ask him. I'll get the question to him. Anything you want to say as a last thing?
Nope. Thank you very much for being on. Look forward to working with you guys and seeing you all on the live.
Awesome. We'll see you later, buddy.
Thanks very much, mate. Cheers. Bye-bye.